So, here we go, guys. Another live workshop with me, Daniel, from the Surf Companions. First of all, I just give everyone another second to join. I see the light is reflecting in my glasses, I think. But we will see. First of all, welcome to another live workshop. I'm super excited because we're going to talk about wave reading, wave understanding, and I will coach you exactly exercises and skills which you can do before and outside the water. But first of all, I want to connect more with you guys. So please, yeah, I ask already in a poll if you're a total beginner or an intermediate to advanced. Please put in the chat really quick where you're from. It would be amazing to know where you guys are from right now, like live in this live workshop. I know it's a Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock, but I'm super excited. German here for Lucky Luke. Finland, wow, super cool. Hamburg, Germany, Harbauer, amazing. Finland, that's exciting. Germany, a lot of Germans here. I will do the whole workshop in English. I could speak German, but it wouldn't be fair because our whole company, Surf Companions, the books are in English, the YouTube channel as well. Hey, I'm from Tarbes in south of France. Amazing, south of France. I will talk about more south of France end of this workshop. By the way, if you're live right here, the cool advantage you have with the live workshop, you can ask me, the coach, later questions. So you can ask direct questions. Timmy Band from Hohenlohe. Yeah, I come from Hohenlohe. It's a really small town in Germany. Hamburg. Florian, the co-founder, you see it in the chat, is also here right now because he's so stoked about longboarding. And the topic which we're going to discuss right now will teach you also about the waves understanding in longboarding. It doesn't matter if you're shortboarding or longboarding. I'm gonna coach you some really important skills which you actively can use. I think without the classes are better. Hey guys, Spain. Diana is also from Spain. Oh, I think it's Diana which gonna join us in France. Super excited. She booked already a surf camp week with us, guys. I just say it right now, but you saw maybe on the website already that we're going to go to France this year, hosted by Brunotti. We're going to spend an advanced coaching week directly in a surf camp behind the dunes. So it's the best place. I go there over 7-8 years already every summer. Netherlands. Ik praat ook een beetje Nederlands, maar this workshop is in English. So welcome guys, first of all. If you're on social media, or you can also share this link quick to your friends if they're really stoked about learning. So this whole workshop will be about you guys. Like I said, 2023, it's going to be improving your surfing. And how can we improve your surfing? If we can understand the nature better. So the waves are here, we are here. But I will give you more knowledge, more theory, which you can actively do in the water, but also outside the water to understand the waves better. Because when we understand the waves better, how they break, how they let's say, act, then it makes us automatically better surfer. You feel more prepared and you know what you're actually doing in the water. So first of all, a big hug, welcome, Hamburg, Hohenlohe, Germany. We have Finland, we have Netherlands. Amazing. I saw already 73% are intermediate advanced. So my examples, I'm going more into the intermediate advanced direction, but I will also make some explanations for total beginners. Sounds fair? Sounds fair. Cool. Nevertheless, only small question, is the quality, I have an extra microphone here, is the quality with the video and the sound, is it all right? Is it working right now? Because we had some problems here in South Spain right now with the electricity. I was a bit nervous because 1 hour ago, like the whole electricity went down. It's fine. Perfect. God, look. Let's start right away. Yes, it's fine. From Care Lampinen, Astrid, perfect, Timmy, perfect, great, amazing. It could happen, just an emergency, if the electricity breaks down again. I have a hotspot, so don't worry. Then you just have to click in the link again, because it will take 1 or 2 minutes, but I hope the electricity will stay. First of all, welcome. I'm in South Spain right now, which I provide you with the surf knowledge through the social media, YouTube channel, and of course through our Surf Companions knowledge books, which flow, which is also here, illustrated everything perfectly to make you understand how to surf and what you actually have to do. Furthermore, I wanted to expand this live coaching because the internet allows us to coach you even live. But I think we should go directly into the topic. This whole workshop is about to make you a better wave reader. So understand the wave or get more waves and understand, hey, why are the good surfers next to me catching all the good ones and the positioning is always better? What you can actively do about it. So first of all, we have to have a difference between the waves. You might know, even you beginner, you might know the difference between a beach break and a point break. This is really important to know beforehand because a beach break, there is sand underneath. Yeah, it's simple, but you have to have in mind it's the difference between a point and a beach break because a beach break has the advantage, I would call it advantage, that the peak, the highest point of the wave, is not always at the same space. I say advantage because of the following. So when we talk about a beach break with all the sand underneath, you probably surfed in South France or they're everywhere. Like beach breaks are usually everywhere, usually around islands. They're like more point breaks because there's reef underneath. But let's think about for a moment about beach breaks. What's the criteria of a beach break? It's sand underneath. Ask yourself, okay, the cool thing is the peak is shifting next to you. Like it could be that you're out there in the lineup, but the peak could be like 2 meters on the left and another set comes and 2 meters to the right. So it's shifting a little bit. Why I say it's an advantage, once you're in the lineup, in the crowd, the big advantage is if you're a strong paddler, you can paddle sometimes a bit to the right, to the left, and you will catch a lot of waves. That's the advantage of a beach break because it's so, we call it shifty. So the peak is shifting with a beach break, but you have to have, you know, it 90% is paddling and surfing. You have to go to paddle power to get more waves. So it is a disadvantage because it's shifting. But if you look at more out of a crowd perspective, you get actually more wave if you can read the waves better, which we come next. But first of all, let's get straight. The beach break and the point break has advantages, but also disadvantages. Beach break, let's stay at the beach break, sand underneath. So advantage could be if you're a strong paddler and you can read the waves really good, you have more space, less people. Yeah, the surf business is growing, more people who want to surf. And yes, there are more people in the lineup. Do you experience it as well? Like, give me quick your thumbs up if you think like it's getting more crowded in the surfing world. This is just next to it. Just give me a thumbs up if you think, or say like, is there smiling, which does like this? I don't think so. Or shaka if it stays same. But if you think it's getting more crowded everywhere, which I have the feeling, give me a thumbs up because I feel so. If you feel like, nah, it's not getting crowded, it's the same, give a thumbs down. But yeah, okay, Astrid says it's getting, oh, I see a thumbs up. Okay, guys, it's getting more crowded, 100%. So when we stay quick with the beach break is pointy, it's shifty. But if you're a strong paddler and you can read the waves good, like the sets and where it's going to break, and you're really quick with your equipment, your positioning, you catch more waves because it's less crowded. Because the peak is shifting, all the people are a bit more on the sides, a bit more distance in between. Some really good surfers catch a lot of waves and the other ones not so much. But have in mind, we compare it now. Sorry, I have to move the lamp. We compare it now with a point break. So what's the criteria with a point break? A point break is reef and stone underneath, and it's not moving at all. Because a sandbank, every season or after a big swell, so a lot of waves, big storm comes, the beach breaks are shifting. But when we look at a point break, a big advantage, because it's so beautiful, looks so beautiful in the magazines and the photos, is that it breaks from one point. So when you think about the waveform, first of all, a point break is obviously point break at one point. We know that, but I come to that later, so please follow my lead. If we think about the point break itself, the big disadvantage is everyone knows it's a point break. So what we're going to sit, how are we going to sit in the crowd out there next to each other like little chickens, like really close next to each other. Everyone's looking, are you going? Are you going? And this could be, especially for people who feel a bit more intimidated or just starting out in green waves, it could be a disadvantage because you're sitting next to each other and there's a pressure on when the next set comes. A big advantage is you know exactly where the wave breaks. Okay, so I hope you understood it right. First of all, we have beach break and we have point break. Yes, we know the beach and the reef is different, but we're thinking about wave reading and wave form. So the advantage of wave form in a beach break is it's more divided by crowd. It means because the peak is shifty, some set comes more like here, another set comes here and here. If you're active and you're a strong paddler because your surf fitness is really good, you will have a lot of waves and you don't have to care about the crowd. By the way, write everything down in your phone, maybe you have already Surf Companions, write it down to make some notes, because in this knowledge, what I give you right now, there will be 100% something which you could use in your surfing. So take notes, be active, think about it. I hope you understood that so far about the beach break. The big advantage of a point break is you don't have to really read so much the wave because it breaks exactly at one point. Yeah. So if you went to Bali at a reef break and you come 10 years later, it will still break at that point 10 years ago. But for example, if you go to France with us or in the summer or with North Spain on the beach break, it could be after the winter, big swells came, so big stormy waves, and they dragged a bit the sandbank out and they reformed it a bit. Could happen that you come to South France and you're like, there's a nice left running, but last year was a perfect right running, more 500 meters more up north, because the sandbank is a total different shape. So the advantage of wave reading with a point break is it's so simple. Everyone can spot, okay, at that point it breaks. And if you know a point break, a spot, then you know exactly where to go. So what I see in my coaching career, but also in free surfing mostly, that even people who are kind of an intermediate level, they can just, take a straight hander, I would say, like just going straight with the surfboard, green wave. They have struggling turning, but it's so easy to paddle out into the lineup with a point break. Makes sense so far? With a beach break, it's sometimes a little bit harder because there's usually a little bit more current and so on. So we have those two things established. So we have a beach break and a point break. So what does it mean for our wave reading? What do you think? And that's my question. I can put it here right now. What do you think needs more wave reading? Is it, wait, I cannot click here, can I? Yeah. What does it take more wave reading? Is it a beach break or is it a reef break? I don't have to type it in, just write reef break or beach break. What do you think is more difficult to understand and read the waves? Is it a beach break or a reef break? Really quick. Teresa says beach break, beach break, beach break, beach break. Patrick, beach break. Kara, perfect, beach break. Yes, Kara, beach break. Nice. We have also some Dutchies here, I saw. So the Dutchies know it. I give you a really quick example. The Netherlands, I also surfed in Holland, or some Germans from Hamburg and Köln. They also travel to the coast of Holland sometimes to surf there. You have to be a better wave reader in small beach breaks. It's quick. The swell period is really low, around 5-6 seconds. Everything above 5 seconds is good in Holland. And it will make you automatically a better wave reader. So have that in mind. The more difficult the conditions are, the more you train your wave reading skills. Because everything I teach you here right now is good to know, but the best way to train it is actively use the tools which I give you in a second in the water, because more water time means better wave reading. The cool thing and the most fascinating thing about, everyone says beach break. Yeah, that's why I'm going to talk a little bit more about beach break. The wave reading skills come with time in the water. That's why experience, even you see it with the pros, we have to go to the Kelly Slater. When they come to a spot, he kind of, or Rob Machado, they kind of spot waves which you from outside see like, hey, this wave is just, and then it's just perfect building up. And there are also some nice podcasts with Kelly and Rob Machado, or YouTube videos, which they explain. Sometimes they have such a natural feeling with the ocean. We call it also the rhythm with the ocean. This is the most perfect flow moment for a surfer. I will come there in a minute. Rob Machado also explained it more like, sometimes when I'm out there in the lineup, I have the feeling, I don't know why, but something tells me paddle 5 meters to the left. And then out of nowhere, suddenly a perfect set came, and the positioning for him was perfect. There was a really nice YouTube video about that, which made me really stoked, because it feels sometimes like that. If you're out there in the water and you're with the rhythm of the wave, you're in this kind of flow mode. So you're really in that moment. Only it could happen that you have amazing feelings about the ocean. You somehow paddle a bit to the left, and then probably suddenly an amazing set comes, and you're like, wow, and it feels a bit more like, wow, this was just for me. So Patrick, the link would be nice. If I find the video, I will definitely send it, but I think it was some years ago in a YouTube video in between. If I find it, I will let you know. Okay, back to the wave reading. What can we or you, because 2023 is all about you guys to improve your surfing, like always, what can we or you do actively to make us a better wave reader beforehand and also in the water? So beforehand, we talk about beforehand, when you come to the ocean, when you come to the beach, every day is different. Every forecast is different. Every wave direction is different. The local winds are different. So first of all, you have to do a spot check. The spot check is for everyone, I do it, everyone does it, is the most important part before you enter the wave. Write it down. So spot check is important. Why is it important? Once you reach the beach or the reef, it's really important to do a spot check. Why? I have a whiteboard, I'm going to use it. The cool thing is about the spot check is the following. When you're at the beach, you see, what can you check? Obviously, the wave height. So you check how big are the waves. How big actually are they? How do we, there's a shaka, thanks. Nice, Patrick. How do we establish the size of the wave? We use other surfers. Yeah, so when they're already surfing, unless you're the first one, 7 in the morning, yeah, when the sun's just rising. If there's already one in and catching a wave, we use the body. So we use chest high, hip high, head high, double, overhead, and so on. So when there's already someone surfing, we can establish, whoa, this is an overhead wave. So you stand on the beach, putting your wetsuit on, you're warming up, and you can look at the ocean already. Okay, there's a wave, there's a wave, there's a wave. First of all, how big are the waves? Because if it's in your comfort zone, you're like, yeah, super stoked. This is my size. It's head high. Perfect. I have the perfect equipment. Let's go. So this is the first one. The second one is, what can you check as well? The crowd. Do you time track the swell pause? Good one. I come there in a second. Got Lucky Luke. I just say Lucky Luke. Ask if I time the pauses in between the swells. It comes now. Why? The second one is we can check and analyze the crowd from outside. Why? Once you paddle in, you want to be ready already. So you want to be ready once you reach the lineup. So from the outside, you're doing the warm-up. Yeah, you check the surf. Okay, you know how big it is. The sets are perfect. Then you see the crowd. What I mean with crowd analysis, I mean, you see like, oh, there's a really good surfer. Oh, every set which comes through, yes, you know that the waves are coming in sets, usually between, I would say 5 to 8. This is the average, could be less or more. If you see a set approaching and every single set wave is surfed, you see already, whoa, it's a big crowd. There are a lot of people out there. So what does it mean? If you want to have a set wave, you will have kind of a problem, because if you check already in your spot check outside from the beach, warming up, you're like, whoa, there came 5 set waves and every set wave is surfed. Do you really think I'm getting also a set wave because I'm so nice to everyone? It's going to be probably harder. But if you're on the beach and the set comes 5, 6 waves and you're like 2, 3, only half of them are surf, you're like, wow, it's not crowded. I will definitely get some waves because I will understand the waves and the sets and so on. Does it make sense so far? The first tip from outside, before we enter the wave, do a spot check. Spot, obviously, like how big the waves are, how many people are there, and what kind of level of surfing. Because I did the mistake when I started surfing. When I started surfing, I always went on the side. So if this is, for example, the peak, so when this is the beach, here's the beach, and here are the waves coming in, and there were a lot of people, bim, 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 really close to the peak. Obviously, you want to start at the peak. I was sitting here on the side, here, heavily on the shoulder, because I was like, oh, I'm going to avoid those people. But there is a reason why everyone is here, especially the better surfers. Why? There are the waves and there's the peak. But we're still outside on the beach, standing, doing a spot check. The wave size, whoop, and how many people and what kind of people are surfing there. Because if you analyze, and there's a set coming, and maybe only the half of it is surf, but the other ones are like just sitting there, suddenly your crowd of sometimes is 10 or 20 people out there becomes less of a threat for you as a surfer. Because if you look outside and you're like, actually from that whole crowd, from 20 people, only 3 are actively catching waves, because this is mostly true. So 80% of them just sitting out there. Of course, if I want to catch waves and there are set waves still unridden, go in there and surf. Does that make sense so far before I go on? Give me a thumbs up if you understood what I meant. So the spot check is really important, and what you have to check beforehand. So the crowd, thumbs up, Teresa, perfect. So the crowd is super important to check, because a lot of people come to a spot and they're like, oh, there's so many people out there, I'm not going in. Please check who's out there. Is every set wave surf? And how do they react in the water? Are they active? Are they really paddling for wave? Or like I did when I started surfing, are they sitting here on the shoulder, like far, far away from the peak? Because only then, when it's totally crowded, every wave is surf, then you might think about, in a beach break, for example, to walk 100 meters down the beach and take another beach break. So usually you have different sandbanks, especially in South France, or you have different beaches. If it's too crowded, it's not your level, then just go to another place. Thumbs up, perfect, you understood. I continue. So when we're out there in the spot check, like Lucky Luke said, to make our wave reading way better is the following. Yes, we see the waves and we're like, okay, this is like maybe chest high wave, perfect. But now it comes. We have to read the waves, by the way, still on the beach, which a lot of people almost never do. But that makes your game of wave reading, trust me, way higher. Like you will be really good surfers. Have in mind. So not only the crowd and the wave size, now we want to go into depth. How is the wave actually breaking? It's like the wave form. I give you an example. If you come to a beach break, usually the beach break is looking more like an A-frame. A-frame, I hope you know it. It's like looks like an A. Yeah, we surfers are really creative. And when you look at a wave, it looks a bit like this, like an A-frame. Yeah, that's why we call it an A. So you could surf it to the right and you could surf it to the left. This is a usual beach break. You have also sometimes beach breaks which are mostly breaking to the left and mostly to the right. But it's really important for you, wave reading today, to establish that already on the beach beforehand. Does it make sense? It's a really point, because a lot of people see waves and they go in, yeah, I want to go surf. No. Because the next one is really important, which I also did a mistake. And I think a lot of you guys are going to be frustrated in their own surfing because you're intermediate, advanced people. You probably have already some skills in turning, maybe cutback, whatnot. But if you're at the beach and you see a wave breaking more like an A-frame like this, you would have more time to go to bottom to top, bottom surf. If you see a wave more breaking like this, compare that. So you have the level C, and then you have the wave breaking more like this. So the lip is really long. Here, you see that? It's really long and it doesn't go down so much like with the shoulder. When you see a wave like this, I hope you can see it when I move it. Yeah, you see it. You see it, right? Yeah, I see it. And you see the difference between the wave. This is way steeper going down, and this one stays longer open. So the peak, the area of takeoff, is wider. It means when it's wider, this wave, the second one, will break the shoulder, whole shoulder here, the whole shoulder will break really quick, like bam, 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 bam. But on the other hand, if you see a waveform like this, that peak will break, yes, boom, but that whole shoulder will take more time to build up. So the biggest difference about the waveform is, write it down for yourself, has the shoulder a really steep and round going down shoulder, or is it a really long, almost flat shoulder? Because once the peak is going up, at the same time, it breaks really quick. I'll give you an example. If this is the peak, the highest point, and this shoulder here, you see it, it's really quick, like it builds up and bam, 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 bam. But if you look at my hand like a normal A-frame, it breaks here, and then at my smallest finger, at my pinky, and now it breaks. I hope that makes sense, because wave reading from the front, you can spot that already when you put your wetsuit on and you sing cream and you drink some water and you're like, wow, waxing the board. A lot of people don't do that. So once you reach the beach, size of the waves, crowded, how many people are there, and what kind of breaking form the wave has. Because nature is here, we are here. Why there are actually maneuvers? My first question to you guys. Why maneuvers exist? That's a good one, huh? Lucky look, you have an answer. Why do actually maneuvers exist? Like, why do we turn on the board? Like bottom turn, re-entry, cutback. Of course, it looks cool, 100%. You don't have to write it. But why, functionally wise, why do we have actually maneuvers? Give me an answer really quick. By the way, I hope you also have some decaf coffee. Maintaining speed, yeah, Teresa. To ride the wave as long as possible. Nice one, Patrick. To make the most of the wave. Nice. To staying in the power area. Care. Amazing. Super. We have only smart people in this workshop. To stay close to the power zone. Diana as well. Yes. Cool. Oh, it's almost the same. It's like to have the most fun of the whole wave. To stay close to the pocket. Power zone. We also call the pocket. Amazing. This is a true answer on why we actually have maneuvers. I give you an example with another color. Yo, head coach greets. Marvin has also joined. Amazing. And back to my question, why do we have actually maneuvers? Because we have to adapt to the wave, which makes us amazing, because every wave is different, totally different sizes, different angle, stays open, maybe not, and we have to be flexible. For example, we have bottom turn, re-entry, cutback, floater, snap, and so on. And Marvin, I also barrels a lot, so he's really good in barrel riding. The barrel ride is obviously the waveform has to be made for, but you have to have a good eyes. But barrel ride, maybe another workshop. I'm not really good at it because I'm really tall. I have to have big barrels to go through, but the techniques and so stay the same. Nevertheless, back to the waveform, because I probably have some longboarder. If it's the same Patrick from last workshop, I'm going to talk more about this. Also applies to longboarding, the waveform. So you do a spot check on the beach, you check those things, and you see waveform. Now, why we need maneuvers is the following. If the wave, for example, A here breaks first peaky and the shoulder takes time to build up, what kind of maneuver is probably handy to do with this kind of waveform? Yes, you probably know it. You first do a drop down, yes, because you have to wait until the shoulder is building up as well. Maybe it'd be a deep bottom turn, deep bottom turn here, down here, and then, bam, you do an air, obviously. No, I mean, you do a re-entry or a top turn, because in that time, you're dropping down. the wave up here will build up to this one. Yeah, will build up, and you will hit exactly the pocket or the highest point, which has the most power. Diana also called it the power zone. We call it also the pocket, which has the most power. Imagine you would just have chosen, you wouldn't care like what kind of wave form it has, and you would just like, oh, I like to generate speed on that wave. And you would drop down and you would speed, and then the wave would be gone. It's like, huh? Then you look to the back and you're 5 meters away from the peak or 5 meters away from the curl. So you have to adapt your maneuvers to the wave form. The same down here, reverse. If you take off here on the peak, yeah, I do the lip is not counted, we're gonna catch green waves. When you take off here and you look to the right, you take a right-hander. I think the light is in between, but you will see it, what I mean. Because the whole shoulder here will break really quick once you took off. What kind of maneuver is handy to do? If the wave breaks really quick, you have to be really quick. Means once you be here, you're like, wow, speed. And maybe in the end section, you go for air. I'm joking. But you do more like a floater maybe. Like a floater is like with the lip to the front. But if you see a wave like this, so really flat shoulder, almost the same height as the peak, you do what? You know now already it's going to be a fast wave. So I have to make speed. So Patrick with his longboard will, if he turns, then immediately do a cross step to his sweet spot to generate speed. All those short boarders, yeah? You turn to the side and immediately you do the first speed bump, yeah? But you don't do the speed bump when you have a wave like this, because this wave is a little bit more fat and the shoulder takes time to build up. That whole scenery helped me so tremendous in my surfing, because I tell you, like, trust me, I did all the mistakes for you. I came usually to the beach and I told myself, today I want to work on my cutback. That was my goal for the day. But if you come to a beach and it's, for example, low tide and the wave is really punchy and quick, you cannot train on your cutback because the wave doesn't allow you to cut back because there's no fat shoulder on the side. Yeah. Does that make sense so far? Let me know, quick. Did you understood the difference between we have to adapt to the wave form and also our maneuvers, instead of today I'm training my re-entry, my deep bottom turn, but there is no time for do a deep bottom turn because this wave allows you to generate speed. Astrid understood it. Gonzalez, Hernandez also, yes, Care, amazing, super. So I hope that was clear, because beforehand you can check all those points I told you, even with your spot check. So you see, for example, also other surfer surfing out there, like the crowd. You did it with the spot check, and then you see their maneuvers as well. Like, oh yeah, he's making speed, but he's gone. But the curl is 5 meters behind him. He should have made a cut back, and that's why it's so important. That's why we also developed the whole online surf coaching. We have a surf skate course as well by Surf Companions, because surf skate training on the flat will allow you to train all your maneuvers to perfection. So that's why you have to know as a surfer how to do bottom turn, how to do re-entry, how to do a cutback, and if you like, it looks cool and it's also nice how to know to do a finishing move. In longboarding, it's different. Longboarding, you have to know how to turn to the right and to the left, and to make speed, longboarders do it with a cross step. Yeah, for example, hanging 10 and hanging 5 in the nose, they're called tricks. But to generate speed, you have to work on your footwork with the cross step. But nevertheless, the maneuver stay the same: turning and speed creation. Yeah, with barrel riding, taking a barrel, it's more like slowing down and stalling. But I think we're not growing up in places where there's so many barrels. So I focus more on the basic turns. When you once understood those turns, you getting better in wave reading, because the wave, once again, sorry, if you understood the maneuvers, you have to know which maneuver I do in which section of the wave. Because if it's a really open fat section, we also call it, if it's flat, cut back. Imagine you're here on this kind of wave. I'll show you really quick. Blue is better, I think, with the color. So once you're here, you took off. Here's the wave breaking, pom, 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 pom. It's a right-hander, pom, pom, pom. It broke already. But you served really away, and you're already here, yeah? But you want to end up back in the curl, or the power zone, Diana said it. You have to cut back, whoop, and hit the lid. So you are here again. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This is like Diana surfing here. So if you have a flat section in front of you, you're surfing, and you see a flat section in front of you, you have to know the quote, if it's flat, cut back. The same in longboarding. If you see a flat section, you have to turn back, because otherwise you're like just going into this section of nothingness, less power, and you're like, I'm gone. No, like you guys said, you want to enjoy the most, you want to get the most out of the wave. So you know, if it's flat, cut back. But now you know already with wave reading, okay, when a waveform is a little bit more like this, we call it also really peaky, then you should choose out of your repertoire, rather go almost straight down into a deep bottom turn and a re-entry. Because in that time, the rest of the shoulder will build up so you can hit the shoulder, the pocket directly in the best position. I hope that's good so far and you understood everything I meant. So maneuvers, wave reading from the beach, and also taking the waveform in count, especially the difference between that kind of wave and that kind of wave. Does it make sense so far? Small sip from the coffee. Understood about wave reading so far? Small thumbs up, or shaka, whatever, or coffee smiley they have. Yes, understood, Gonzalez. Super, Astrid, yes, yes, yes. How about speedy walled up section? Cool. Lizard also asked about, how about speedy walled up section? When it's really walled up section, I mean, if it's barreling and you have enough speed, you try obviously to go through, but I think you probably mean when it's suddenly getting really speedy, and so you're surfing down the line, it's a bit more fat, and then suddenly the whole section sucks up and goes really fast. Is that what you mean, Lizard? Really quick. Lizard, yes or no? Otherwise I continue. I think so, huh? So when it's really fat, or you have a nice takeoff, you go to one side, to the right or to the left, and suddenly it's really sick. Yes, when it breaks all at once. When it breaks all at once, we call it a closeout. So a closeout means if the whole peak here, like this, looks a bit like this. The whole length, almost at the wave, is closing out. What kind of wave reading skills you need? You just have to look, if a wave's approaching, what the height of the wave line is. If the wave line is like this, so the wave, this is the sea level, but the wave is approaching almost like this, the same height, it's almost 100% sure it's going to be a closeout, because there's no difference between a peak. There is no peak here, which would break first. No, that whole length would break at the same time. We call that a closeout. A closeout we don't like, because we cannot surf it to the right and left. A closeout, the best is like just to surf it down, or to stop and wait for another wave, because a closeout is not nice. I hope I understood your question also right. It could also be, and now it comes, example for the really advanced people, I'm talking about finishing moves. Finishing moves is, imagine, yes, that wave is still closing out at the end, but beforehand, you were surfing that wave with your longboard or with your shortboard, doesn't matter, and you come out of this wave. Means, like you see this section is closing out, but you come surfing from here, yeah? You're surfing, you're smiling, should be a smile. Whoa, your long blonde hair, like me, I'm a classic surfer, of course. you're coming there and you see like, whoa, this section is closing out really quick. Whoop, it's sucky. What kind of maneuver can you do? What do you guys think? Oh, it looks cool if I do this. Yeah. Let me know quick. What kind of maneuver do you think you do? I mean, you can just surf into the white water like boom and getting smashed. And don't forget your head protection. Or you could, what looks a bit more stylish, hitting the end section. Lizard, nice. Hitting the end section. Patrick goes for an air, of course. Oh, Care wants to go for a floater. Amazing. That sounds some good advice, guys. Floater. Gonzalez also thinking about the floater. Exactly. So this is also a maneuver which you can work on. If you come with a lot of speed here, woo, you can come up, boom, and hit the section and go for your air. Yeah, who wanted to go for an air? Patrick wanted to go for an air. Or what you actually always should do is a finishing move, because finishing, like it says, you finish the whole wave. From the top, whoa, you did your maneuvers, maybe a cutback, how the wave allows it, and then you finish it. By the way, in competition, you get the highest score if you finish the wave. So when you come in front of the wave finished, or if there's a nice finishing section. The 360, Diana does a 360, why not? Like a 360 reverse air in here, but let's be realistic, guys. We're gonna do a nice floater. So don't be scared of a section in front of you closing out. No, commitment. It could also sometimes be that you do a small, we call it a floater or foam climb. Imagine only this section, which sometimes happens, will close out. What you can do, the normal beginner intermediate level usually would go underneath around. Oh, there's white water, and then hope to end up here again. But because you follow this workshop and you are trained by surf companions and you know the knowledge, always go above. So it doesn't matter if you go like, wow, a small floater here, above, or you do a big air, boom, 360 like Diana landed, or you do a foam climb, choo-choo. You will end up in this section again to continue surfing, because once you're up there, you have more speed to go down again. Wow, I'm talking more about maneuvers instead of wave reading, but you understand it, it's connected with maneuvers and wave reading. Same with longboarding, you see that as well. If you see a section, you can also go lift up with your longboard, boom, so it's on the foam and with the foam down, and you might do another section to continue the ride. I hope that was a cool answer for that, Lizard. Give me a thumbs up, Lizard, if that was a cool answer or you understood what I meant. Is there anything else before we go into the water? Because I have still 2-3 things which you actively can do to improve your wave reading every single time you're in the lineup out there. Foam climbs, perfect answer. Yes, foam climbs are nice. Boom. Okay. For everyone else, do you have questions so far about what we discussed from outside? Like spot check is important about the wave reading, because then you establish already, okay, today it's like this kind of waveform. I'm going to train on my bottom turn and re-entry, or speed, floater. Because then you selected already in your head, this is the waveform, this is the only thing I can do today on those waves, so I'm going to do it, I'm going to practice on that. Because like I said, I did a mistake. I came to the beach and said like, oh, today cutback, but there was no cutback wave. So now I come to the beach and it's like, oh, that's a cool section. Oh yeah, let's try that, bam, bam, bam. And then nature here, you are here, but you will adapt more to the waves, which makes you a more advanced surfer. Okay, I hope you understood it. We continue off the exercise, what you can actually do in the water. So you're paddling out. Imagine you did a spot check, you know the maneuvers, you know the waveform, but now you're paddling out into the lineup. In the lineup, a lot of beginner intermediate mistakes are that, like I said, you take more distance from the people. So the people are more like here. This is usually where the peak is coming in. And you are probably, because you don't know them, yeah, you're alone, you're a travel, a holiday surfer, you sit a little bit more here. Okay. The disadvantage is if you sit on the side, you're not directly at the peak where the waves are breaking. This is first of all, because when you're at the peak, you have priority, you have the longest ride, and so on. I hope you know that. But the advantage, the big plus from sitting on the side and do a big plus is you can check the crowd and you can check the first set. I would definitely recommend for everyone, wait for the first set. So if you paddle out there, you can look already, it's like, okay, I checked already on the beach. Oh yeah, those are the 3 guys. Oh, they're really active. Oh, this one is even looking aggressive. Doesn't matter. But you see like, okay, this one is quite good, cool. Oh, he's surfing top to bottom, amazing. So when you sit on the side at the beginning, it's really nice to observe the surfers, but also the waves. Have a look if the peaks are shifty, for example. If you see from the side, hey, sometimes the peak is more here, for example, 5 waves, so one set is coming more here, and the second one set is more coming here. You know for your session right now, cool, I can shift to the right and left. Once I said, if you're an active, strong paddler, you can position yourself better in a beach break because you know, boom, to the right, to the left, and so on. But actively, like I said, this is only the first set or the second set. You can sit on the side because it's also not that pushy. For example, if there would be some locals, if you still straight pedal to the peak, it's not a nice behavior. So first of all, you stay the first set or the second set on the side. You can observe, you stay a bit close, which is nice. And then it's time for you to get active. And here we come. My first active, which a lot of people don't do, my first active tip for you guys in the water is also look at the horizon. Not really close, like not only 5-10 meters away, really look at the horizon. Because when you lie on your board, especially for longboarder, you can see almost every change of wave difference along the way, even 100 meters away. Ask you, I'm gonna ask this question because probably everyone had that once. Once you're out in the lineup with different surfers, especially also with good surfers who catch a lot of waves, you probably sometimes wonder, hey, why they suddenly start paddling more outside the ocean? Did you ever had that in your surfing? Let me know quick. So you're outside the lineup, you're sitting next to them, you smile to them, and suddenly in between they're just paddling away from the beach, so a little bit more further out. Suddenly, like 4 free guys, and you're like, I'm just doing what I do, or what's up, guys? Did you have that experience? Yes or no? Let me know. Quick. I hope the internet is, it's still there, right? Oh, yeah, cool. Yes, often. Yeah, look, Hemming even says, yes, often. If in doubt, pedal out. That's also nice. Nice quote. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yes, Timmy back. Look, every one of you, which you just answered, had the experience already. Your big sets coming in. Exactly. So how can they know suddenly, do they have an alarm clock? Do they have a special 300 euro watch or whatever? No one is calling them. They're sitting in the lineup where you're sitting the same level. So what happens is, we as experienced surfer, we're not looking at the crowd and the next set is coming. No, we also look really into the distance. If there is a wave more popping out or several waves more popping out instead of the sea level we are right now. A big advantage for longboarders, especially when the surface is a little bit small, you can lie beautiful with the sexy longboard legs out, wait there, and because you're lying down, I also call it the Chihuahua effect, because the Chihuahua has to look up, everything is bigger for you, and you see really, because you're closer to the sea line, all the little waves, all the different pop-ups, I will call it the waves which are approaching towards you guys. You see it in the horizon level. So my first exercise tip is, once or next time you're out there, look further than maybe 20 meters. Oh, I see clearly there are 3 waves. Everyone in the crowd sees, oh, there are 3 waves coming now. But have a look in the distance, because sometimes they pop out more here. Oh, and you are the guy or you are the woman with the surfboard, recognize it. I see a big set coming here, and you are one of the first ones paddling only, and sometimes it's just 3, 4, 5 meters. You're paddling more to that direction here, like I did, boom, and suddenly when the wave is here, You are the first one, boom, taking the big set. Everyone is cheering, woo, yeah. So you actively watch the set approaching from really far away. Does it make sense? Exercise, first one, you're sitting out there, look at the distance as well. It makes you automatically a better advanced intermediate surfer because you're actively watching, oh, is there a bigger set coming? Bam, bam, bam. Make sense? Cool. Second active one is following, which you can do already with the spot check, but I waited for now because it gives more of an example. In the spot check, you should also check if there are sets coming and how long in between, kind of. You don't need a watch, but if you do more surf session, it will come automatically. Is how long is the break in between the sets? Because I give you the most important example, which could make your surfing session amazing or could really destroy your surfing session. Have a look. If you're out there in the lineup and a big set of 5 waves comes, 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. But you took the first one or the really small one here in front, which is not a set wave, because afterwards also the small ones are here. Yeah. Imagine you would surf a small one here in front, because it was surfable, but it was not a set wave. You get, maybe a small wave here. It was not that fantastic. You turn around, boom, you're in the impact zone. You get 5, boom, boom, boom. Waves on your head because you're in the impact zone. Shit, you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have taken that small one. How do you know that the set is coming? I come there in a second. But, and that was the example. And then you try to paddle out during a set comes, which takes a lot of energy, is not nice. The best example and the best scenario, and that's why we call it be with the rhythm with the ocean. We call it the rhythm with the ocean. It's the following. The best is if you recognize, okay, that was a set is head high, head to chest high. I'm not taking smaller waves than shoulder, chest, or head high, because I know there should be. I checked it on the spot check. I also checked it in the water next to my friends. I know there will be bigger waves. And there we come with patience. When I started surfing, I paddled for everything that moved. Everything, every small. I was done after 30 minutes. But you have to have patience to know, because you checked it already. You know that with wave reading, there must be a set. So the best one would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You let the first one you let through, because the second one, the third one is usually better. But the first one are usually 2 or 3 persons paddling, because after such waiting 5 minutes, such a long time, they're all going for the first one. So you go maybe for the second or third wave. Yeah, you surf it to the right or to the left. Amazing. And then, whoa, the last wave went through here, and you easily can paddle out again, effortless, because only the small waves are coming after a set. And then, and this is really the best rhythm of the waves or your surf session, is the following. We call it also, you have a nice rhythm in your surf session. You have a nice set waves, in between there's nothing, paddle out. 1 minute of waiting, suddenly a new set comes, you take maybe the second, third, fourth, boom, again, and you paddle out, and so on. That's what you can recognize. This exactly scenario you can recognize with better surfers, with coaches, and with also pros. If you watch the pros also online with the live stream, you see like, they're waiting such a long time, yet they're only waiting for the sets. So the big advantage, and which brings your surfing to the really next level, trust me guys, wait for the A quality waves. And the best quality waves are the sets. Yeah. So this is the A+ quality waves you're looking for the whole time in your surf sessions. You could get a smaller set wave, but at least get the set waves. Because another disadvantage is the smaller waves break closer to the beach. So a bigger wave breaks already out here because it has more depth in the wave. So if you really, I just want to have the small one before the sets because I'm so energetic and so. But if you take a smaller wave, the smaller wave also breaks a little bit closer to the beach. What happens? You have the smaller waves, which is not that cool, but you have a wave, and you're closer to the beach, so you're out of position of the set waves because the set waves break 3, 4, 5 meters more outside. And now you have the answer already. When there's a big set coming, a big set, suddenly the whole lineup is sitting here. Usually the normal sets are breaking around here. And suddenly, because you look now into the horizon, you see like, whoa, this looks a bit bigger than all these sets I saw before. So I paddle slightly more out. Have a look. Because paddling more in after 2 minutes, when the first set comes, which you thought it's going to be really big, and you paddle in again, it's no problem. You can still paddle in. But paddling really out during the time the big set broke, it takes so much energy and good timing and duck dive and turtle roll, and whoa, everyone is hectic. So you want to be aware, active, and concentrated the whole time once you're in the outside in the lineup. Does that make sense? Did it help you, those exercises which you have to do? I'm going to summarize it really quick. Write it down. Actively, you're in the spot check. You look from outside what kind of waveform it is. And depending on the waveform, you're going to adapt your surf maneuvers to the wave. Best would be, of course, also your equipment. If it's really tiny waves, you obviously go on a longer board, mid-length for longboard, mini Malibu. If it's really pumping waves and really steep, you should have a board which has a little bit more rocker. Otherwise, you're like, boom, a lot of nose diving. Equipment is another workshop, but this is about wave reading. Actively look to the horizon once you're out there, especially analyze the crowd, but try, and this is the most important part, try to be within the rhythm of the wave. Means wait for your sets, wait for the quality waves, which brings you more power, more fun, because they're gonna also more bigger. So I give you a small quote: go big or go home. Big means like it doesn't have to be double overhead, but for your surf level is like a good size wave. For example, if you like to surf nice chest to hip high waves, and there is a day of surfing which allows you to have the sets in chest to hip high waves, don't go for the small waves in between, for the knee high ones. You know, they're okay. You can also surf it. I don't say you don't have to surf small waves, but if you are in a surf session and you see there are sets coming, please go for the set ones. They're more fun. They're going more to the right and the left. I hope you understood those small active things. Just have a look what I did. We discussed the beach break, the reef break, and what's this different. The beach break obviously has the same sets which I explained here, but the advantage of a beach break is, like you saw here, sometimes because it's shifty, you can paddle a bit to the left, a bit to the right. Did it help you, like this workshop so far? Because now comes the most interesting part for me. You can ask questions about wave reading, waveform, and so on. Let me know, because now it's questions time. Before we go into the questions, let me know if you understood everything and was it clear, and do you have the feeling now like, yeah, I have some tools now which helps me in the next surf session to understand and read the waves better, because it's beforehand you can read the waves and analyze the waves, but also actively in the water. Always look where the peak is. Good info from Care. Oh, I'm really happy. Cool. Always where the peak is. And last tip for everyone, I was always intimidated by really good surfers out there, but you have to have in mind that really good surfers are really good in wave reading and positioning. Why not shadowing them? So shadowing means like not really next to them, sitting like, oh, I don't see you. Oh, he's paddling now. Means like stay closer to those persons, because you will learn a lot from them. You're not gonna learn something from a surfer who's just on the sideline, on the shoulder of the wave and do nothing. It's mostly just sitting there. You will learn and from good surfers. So when they start paddling, you should also start paddling like actively. Okay, where's he? Ah, there's the set. Whoa, I didn't saw it. But you imitated what he did, so it will be also a bit super clear, very clear, amazing. And now we come, because it's already an hour. I love coaching, guys. Oh my God, the time flies by. Important for beginners. Are the tides important for beginners? The first question, I love it. Of course, the tides are important, because usually for beginner surfers, we surf usually on beach breaks, because the sand underneath, it's not that hard if you would fall. And yeah, in surfing, you always fall a bit. and you feel more safe. So that's the first one. It's easier to learn on a beach break. We want to have whitewater waves, but we want to, because to paddling out there into the line now takes a lot of pedal power, and you have to know how to handle your board. We want to stand on the ground to catch one of your first waves. So we rather go on lower tide instead of higher tide, especially with beginners. So the tides are important if you're surfing, 100%. So I hope that was clear. Still struggling while in the water to predict whether it will break to the left or to the right. Amazing question, Teresa. I love it. That's amazing. I give you a simple answer for everyone. Teresa just asked like how to spot if it's a right-hander or a left-hander. Oh, there's a nice shadow. I love it. Super easy. If you look, this is the ocean. If you look to the ocean and the peak, so the highest point is on your left. Yeah. So when I'm paddling right now and the peak is more like here higher, because you obviously look to the side, also over your shoulder once you're paddling. So when the peak is here where my coffee mug is, you're gonna surf away from the peak. Yeah, means like when the peak is here, a little bit on the left, you're gonna surf to the right. If it's the peak would be here where you see the shadow here on the wall, so I'm paddling, wow, that's the wave of my life, and the peak is more here. It's most likely, of course, that on the left side will be the shoulder. So I'm taking off here and surfing to the left. So once again, for everyone, if you paddle, if the peak is right from you on the right side, you're going to surf to the left. If it's on the left side, you're going to surf to the right. Nevertheless, if it's really pointy, like an A-frame, which I showed, then you can choose. If you're really that pointy on an A-frame, you see that? If it's really, really pointy, you can choose here. Oh, I'm goofy. Of course, the goofies all go left and the regulars go right. You can choose, yeah? Of course, if there would be someone next to you, yeah, you can talk to that person. You like, you go left, you go right. Okay, cool. That would be the most fascinating one, because then both could surf. I hope that understood. That helped me a lot. If the peak is on the left side, surf to the right. If it's right, when you start paddling, you surf to the left, always away from the peak. Yeah, but then you use maneuvers to come back. Do you guys have more questions about this live workshop? Guys, I'm really stoked. I hope you like what I'm doing. I see already like more than 23 people always online, which makes me really, really happy. I still have some news for you at the end, but I will still give someone, at least one or two persons, the possibility to ask a question, because that makes it so special, a live workshop. You can, of course, watch this video afterwards again on our YouTube channel at Surf Companions, like normal. But now you have the chance to ask me a question. Could be also something different about wave reading. Could be something you never understood. Maybe it's something cool for the whole community. But does someone has a question? Or more questions? It's now already an hour. Amazing. Cool. Do we have more questions? If not, that's also fine. Then I go immediately to our news. Still struggling while water predict where it break to left and right. Yes, I did. Maybe I forgot to scroll. May for the next session. May for the next session. Amazing. Okay, Patrick. Obviously, wait a second. I have to grab those Surf Companions books. Nevertheless, I hope you understood what we as a company, Flo and me and my whole team, we have an ambassador team, and right now we are even working on how to read a surf forecast. How to read a surf forecast, Patrick, I will do in the next session, because there's a really cool topic, so have that in mind. Nevertheless, I have to tell you guys, all the surf knowledge you need are in illustrations. We have a beginner one and an intermediate one. Please check it out on our website, because exactly there we have step-by-step approach, even how to do a bottom turn, how to generate speed, rail grab, how to do a cutback, and so on. But those are the main books which are in surf camps, online, Instagram, everywhere. I have to tell you guys, this whole live workshop is for free, because I love to coach and I love to connect with you guys. But I also want to point out, we want to make this online knowledge more abroad, means we have a bigger program. And the coolest thing would be, this year we're going to test it out. We want to have real connection with you guys. If you're looking for advanced surf coaching with video analyzing directly behind the dunes, we have 1 week, the last week of August. We are hosted by Brunotti. We're going to go into a surf camp together. So if you want to be really coached by me, like in real on the beach with video analyzing and everything, you can check it out under surf camp in our surfcompanions.com. I will write of course, you know the domain, I think, but I will write it down again at surfcompanions.com. And that website, you will also see a live coaching call. So if you want to improve your surf skating, or we have Marvin as an ambassador coach as well, you can improve even river surfing. If you want to improve your surfing and we are not on the same beach, yeah, there's an option. You can plan a one-on-one call directly with us to get the proper surf knowledge which you need to improve your next surfing. And of course, we have as well online courses. Enough advertising. I just want to tell you, I'm really happy and stoked that you guys are interested and you want to improve your surfing. So nevertheless, if you watch the live workshops, if you watch my YouTube videos, you follow us on Instagram, if you book a whole week with us in France, nevertheless, I'm so happy also about your emails, about the Instagram direct messages and questions. So I'm super stoked that this whole surf community is growing. So I would say a big thanks to you guys. And I hope you're doing well. Here you guys to love your books. Amazing. Yeah, we love the feedback. Even one guy said once, oh, I want to get a tattoo of one of those illustrations. And I asked Flo, okay, we have to think about it if that's cool. But this is so cool feedback from you. So nevertheless, thank you so much, guys. Let me know. You can also leave a comment in your socials, tag us in social media, what you learned in this workshop. And I hope you tell your friends and what you learned here. And I hope to see you next time, because we're going to do a live workshop regularly. And I wish you a great night. So thumbs up, Shaka, and looking forward to the summer camp. Angelique, amazing, cool. That sounds cool. Thanks so much. And see you next time.